the latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. We all heard what happened between Nigeria and Burkina Faso when Nigeria aircraft C-130 landed in Bobo Dioulasso without an authorization. Finally, when the communique was brought out by our all-in-alls, Nigeria also came out and told us that this C-130 aircraft was on a mission for maintenance in Portugal, only for the Portuguese government to come out and say otherwise. So with all this tension rising, according to reports, the king of the world, Vladimir Putin, also decided to deploy troops to Burkina Faso to strengthen the security so that there will be no attacks from any enemy that will be able to penetrate into Burkina Faso, because we've seen that France is not backing down. France is doing everything possible to make sure they still claim back their countries that they used to gain a lot from. Because ever since Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso decided to kick them out, things haven't been easy. Putin was said to have told those that cares to listen that Moscow is not out to expand its influence to the Sahel region, just as he was said to have warned Nigeria, which C-130 aircraft and 100 military personnel are in Burkina Faso custody, to tread with caution to facilitate the release of the aircraft and the Nigerian military personnel to resolve the conflict between the two West African countries. Russian president may have sent a strong worded message to the duo of President Macron and Tinubu to watch it, as he will not sit by and watch Burkina Faso being messed up with by any country, insisting that Burkina Faso's strategic partner with Moscow is of significant importance and any hostile actions will be taken seriously. He was emphatic that any attack on the Sahel countries will be considered an attack on Russia Federation. Quote, "We will respond decisively to protect our allies, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger." True to his words, he was said to have deployed 400 Russian soldiers to Burkina Faso to strengthen the country's defense amid rising tension and fears of Nigerian possible military invasion, to avoid turning the West African sub-region into another theater of war after the 12-day Israeli-Iran war that was said to have claimed millions of lives and damage to basic infrastructure facilities in both countries, and the ongoing Ukraine-Russian war may have given him the audacity to warn Nigeria against any military move against Burkina Faso as the region faces escalating insecurity and geopolitical pressure. This is where the Nigerian government has to watch it to avoid being used by President Macron of France to go into war with the Sahel state to reclaim its lost gold and uranium mines in the region to revive its decaying economy. Ever since Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso leaders decided to kick out the French out of their countries, we've seen that France is not knowing peace. Things are not just easy. So Emmanuel Macron is also doing everything possible in his power to make sure that they stay relevant in Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, because that is where they are also getting their daily bread from. So people are of the view that the aircraft that we saw moving from Nigeria in the name of Nigeria was actually not in the name of Nigeria, but they were working for France. So for that matter, they know exactly what they were doing, and that was the reason to which when they came out to claim that the aircraft was moving to Portugal, the Portuguese government came out denying. According to reports, they were expecting that France, Emmanuel Macron, will also play its part by talking things out with the president of Portugal, so that when they issue that statement, the Portuguese government will confirm it in order to back Macron's ideas. But it seems the part of Macron was not played out well, so this did not help out. President Macron may have been exposed in the plot to destabilize Burkina Faso using the Nigerian advanced technological equipped war transport aircraft C-130 piloted by 2 crew members with 9 military personnel on board as it landed at the Bobo Dioulasso airfield, but was promptly brought down with the support of Russian-installed facilities to bring down such unauthorized aircraft in their airspace. The Nigerian Air Force authorities had made the international community to believe in order to turn the heat against the leadership of Burkina Faso for illegally bringing down the Nigerian C-130 aircraft when it started, said the aircraft was on its way to Portugal for maintenance but made a precautionary land in the Bobo Dioulasso airfield due to technical fault. Many believe that the Nigerian government may have dragged Portugal into the scheme to save its face on the ground, that President Macron will talk to Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa of Portugal that a Nigerian C-130 aircraft with 9 military personnel on board was heading to the country. The French president may not have tied up its own part of the deal, as it was said to have failed woefully. The Portuguese authority may have made a mockery of the French president's plot to use Nigerian aircraft to enter an enemy country of France's airspace in the Sahel region when they quickly issued a statement on Tuesday, December 9, 2025, that there was no such request or notification from the Nigerian government approved in their diplomatic or military correspondence. The statement had added that there is no record of any planned visit or official communication indicating that the Nigerian Air Force contingent was heading to Portugal, describing any such information as inaccurate. We heard that the President Emmanuel Macron also came out and told the world that he gave out intelligence to Nigeria to be able to thwart the coup in Benin. So people believe that this aircraft was also on a mission in Burkina Faso to make sure that whatever that Emmanuel Macron wanted happens. Others too are of the view that the aircraft was to spy and to bring other intelligence, because they believe that this aircraft was going to be used against AES, and that isn't acceptable. And why should we Africans, even in this 21st century, keep giving out ourselves and allowing ourselves to be used against our own freedom? We do not know. And we must come together as Africans to fight against all these things, because if we don't rise up against these white people in the guise of black, we will never move forward. And we need to safeguard our country, the continent, and to set ourselves free. And to set ourselves free, because we deserve to be free. The resources here belong to us and no other person but us. And we are happy that we have backing forces that are supporting AES, and that is the reason to which the revolution is still ongoing. So we are the only ones that can make sure that we become free. So our freedom is actually in our own hands. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in Russia.